All right, so we've talked about the sporting events thus far. It brings us to the final one, men's soccer.
Men's soccer. Oh,
I don't honestly.
Instant classic. I mean, if ESPN has room for an instant classic, I think this
I think the
would be up
40 for 30 is already in the works.
You know, guys, this is one of the nights that you will remember for the rest of your life. I mean, now I'm speaking for us three now, but when I'm 60 and I have grandkids maybe, and I put little Benedict on my lap and I'm just like, let me tell you about the time.
Benedict?
I'm just throwing names out there. Right. But, just going to tell them, hey, when I was in college at Haverford, the second ever soccer game at Swan Field, under the lights, in the blistering cold, what an amazing experience. Maybe thus far, I could say it is the definitive sports experience of my Haverford career. One of the greatest nights I've ever had here.
It's absolutely up there. I mean, I've been talking. I've heard Disney's been asking for the naming rights. The thing about SWAT Team 1, HC 2.
Yeah, sounds about right.
I don't know.
So basically, yeah. I mean, me and Jamie, we got some score predictions correct. A little bit off on the order and the time, but what's important is the score. 2-1.
Right.
Haverford Soccer, guys. I mean, we stormed the field.
Why did you follow us?
Yes,
you left us in the lurch.
One,
fans, come on!
One, why didn't you follow us? But two, I think part of the reason you didn't is because you thought it was just an ordinary win, but it really, honest to goodness, it wasn't. Because this is the first time that Haverford men's soccer has beaten SWAT since 2003, which is a long time ago, longer than you or I have been here.
Yeah.
And in addition, this is the first,
the
first time that the Haverford men's soccer team has broken into the Centennial Conference.
I mean, such a storied past with the soccer team. We were the first ever collegiate soccer game was played on our very own Walton Field, and then to start off a new era, to inaugurate Swan Field with a win against Sophomore to punch our ticket into the Centennial Conference tournament, and not only that, but to not SWAT.
Not only are we in, but SWAT is gone,
and they're defending Centennial champs.
Which is a big deal.
I'm speechless, guys. Like, honestly, the words just aren't coming to me right now because
wow. You know what? We started off the game with threats. Just threat after threat, strike after strike, making their goalie make some pretty difficult saves. And I mean, he was up to the challenge for a lot of them, but not for all. I mean, on our first goal, I think we had 4 shots in quick succession, one off a crossbar, and then finally Alejandro just netting it in from about 5 or 6, just wide open because their goalie just given up and sat down because of the onslaught. I mean, just relentless play. It was a beautiful goal, a beautiful team effort. On the whole,
it really was.
And if I were a betting man, I would listen to what this guy has to say.
From now on, as I remember,
when Dixie, a couple of days back predicted
5 days before
the game, predicted that a player who had
won Ford Borman,
a player who's been an effective player for the Fords, but by no means a goal scorer thus far. This might ignite, a rapid goal-scoring run. Dixie decides to predict that he will be the
late game heroics.
The late game hero.
Said Ford.
I just, I had a feeling in me. I said, thinking to myself, all right, who's gonna come off and just have an inspired game? I said, Ford Borman, and I just want to talk a little bit about Ford. He's great guy. Thank you for helping me out with my calculus homework all the time, dude. I owe you. I'm still here because of you. We'll just put it that way. Couldn't think of a more deserving guy. And it was just a brilliant play.
Brilliant play.
Absolute great run. Absolute great pass by Tyler.
Right.
And just Ford turning it and just sticking it in. Oh, that was...
Having a day. But the goal itself, technically, was just stunning. I mean, Ford had some pretty fantastic footwork, bringing it back into the middle to his right and curving it around the goalie and putting it in the low corner. I mean, first goal in collegiate history. I mean, I wouldn't think of a better way to go about doing it. And then, I mean, a leap into the nut house. I mean,
I
why not?
The celebration to follow was equally impressive. I didn't know he had that vertical.
I'm impressed all around.
Like 30 inches.
The fence starts about 3 feet high, so, I mean, that jump is absurd. And two, I mean, just all around absurdities. Nick Kahn gets from the goal to where we were arguably 100 yards away in, I don't know,
that's
5
like a
seconds.
3-second 40-yard dash.
Yeah.
It's something unbelievable, unhuman. Usain Bolt would be absurdly impressed. So yeah, I mean, these guys, like we kind of talked about in our last episode, are on the run of their lives. These guys are really living the dream.
7 games in a row now.
7 games unbeaten.
7 unbeaten.
Yeah.
6 victories in a row.
6 victories.
Yeah.
And they all were, every single game.
Honestly, guys, 7-game unbeaten streak, 6-game win streak, 5-game conference win streak.
And 12 goals.
What?
Unbelievable. And it defied, like, every single conference game that they had from October 1st on out was a must-win game.
Yeah.
I was talking to Matt Weatherall the other day. They haven't lost since October 1st. No, I mean,
what?
They're undefeated through the month of October.
Yeah, I mean, we talked about in our last installment of SquirrelCenter. I mean, tale of 6 teams, and they weren't one of them. We'll look at it now. I mean, their backs were against the wall, and they came to play, and they've been coming to play, and they will continue to come to play. We got some hideous, scraggly playoff beers.
Absolutely.
And it's worth it. Totally worth it. I'm looking at you, Gorski. But
I can tell you, they are beaming with confidence right now. There's not a single team in this tournament that they're afraid of. Even the teams that they lost to. Okay, the 3 teams that they lost to in this tournament right now. Johns Hopkins lost on an absurd penalty call in the final minute. You have F&M arguably outplayed the Diplomats on Walton Field. Narrow loss. Had multiple chances. And then a 2-1 loss to Muhlenberg. Muhlenberg, a very good side. But still, they played at Muhlenberg, and it was a close game through and through.
I mean, I think for all of our losses, it was one goal losses, right? Every single one. And so I think it's just it just really speaks to the tenacity, the determination, the perseverance of our team. I mean, we started out with it's a tale of 2 seasons. We started out, things were just not going our way. I remember doing Profile of a Player with Charlie Michael, and he was just saying, we just need that one goal, and we're just hoping that when it rains, it pours. Coincidentally, right after that article came out was when the streak began. I'm not saying anything, I'm just saying.
And then we have Ford Borman write the article about the insider take on Swat Suck, and then we have a prediction about Ford Borman scoring the goal, and then Ford Borman goes out and scores the goal. Coincidence? I think not.
I don't know. Weatherall, maybe it's your turn to come on to SquirrelCenter. We're inviting you. Invitations out there.
Absolutely.
Right. I mean, with this win, like we've said countless times, the Fords punched their ticket into the tournament, playing again in the 4-5.
Right.
Unfortunately, not getting the ability to host. They're gonna have to take a little drive down to F&M to play this game on Wednesday.
And Joe, I was looking back at your guys' your lacrosse seasons over the years, and this seems eerily familiar to a run that the men's lacrosse team made 2 years ago, in which you guys were a couple of losses, confidence might have been down, and then boom, halfway through the season, run straight through the Centennial Conference tournament and deep into the NCAA tournament.
Right. I mean, there's a history of it in the Fords. We were 5-5 on the season. Everybody had written us off. I mean, even our own athletic administration decided not to fill out some paperwork, so we couldn't host a game later on in the year. Then we just went on a run. That's what the soccer team's doing right now. They're going on a huge run, and they're just taking it. I mean, they have arguably, I think, the most momentum in the country. Not just the Centennial, not just anything, the country. I mean, they are living on that cloud. They're just cruising, and they're going to take it in.
Absolutely. So do you guys want to talk about the matchup coming up on Wednesday, tomorrow, against the Franklin and Marshall Diplomats? Big game. I mean, it's going to be a 7 o'clock kickoff. It's going to be on Franklin and Marshall's video, so make sure you go to the F&M website and watch the video. They're gonna want all the support they can get. And I can't tell you how many times I had some of the seniors, Matt Weatherall, Steve Griffith, Tyler Cumming, come up to me at the end of the game, just to say how amazing it was to have such a solid and unified fan support at that SWAT game. I mean, they really appreciate it, and they're really, you know, they realize that they're doing something really special right now, and they want everyone to get involved.
And I'm just so proud of all you guys in the Squirrel Squad. I mean, the fact of the matter is, we might be like the talking heads of the Squirrel Squad, but it's you guys out there. The bodies in the stands, making noise, being loud, getting rowdy. And I remember just looking back and seeing every single seat taken. And then seeing people lining the entire side of the fence. You know, we were there, we were packed, standing room only. And what an incredible feeling, you know. And it's just, wow, just wow. The sense of unity when we were singing, the just explosion of ecstasy when the goals were scored. You guys are amazing.
Yeah,
keep it up, guys. Yeah. I mean, this can't be a one-trick pony. This can't be a one-time deal. You got to get out there. I'm really pumped. I was a little apprehensive about a Monday night game, not going to lie.
Yeah.
But you guys came out, and now we need to keep it up. I mean, you might not be able to get to the away S&M game for the guys, but you know what? 2 home games. Two.
Big ones.
So get out there. And now they're back in the stands where, you know, we can really get a giant section going. We have all that space. It doesn't need to be standing room. We can have just everyone corded off, ready to go.
Yeah.
So get out there. And, I mean, just to bring it back to the game, we kind of went off on a little tangent there. Just fantastic game. Great job, the men's soccer team.
There's one play that stands out to my mind, other than the 2 goals, of course, which we've talked at length about. Was the Nick Kahn one-handed save off the crossbar.
Oh my
that could have saved the season right there, and that changed the fortune of the team. You know, SWAT saw that. They thought they had a for sure opportunity to get a goal. It would have tied it up 1-1, and from there it's anyone's guess. But Nick Kahn came up huge. I mean, punching it out. I mean,
right. I mean, from where Nick was on his line, I think the shot must have come from maybe 10 yards in front of him, and he threw that hand up, punched it off the crossbar. I mean, the reaction just absurd. I know I went ballistic, and then I think, you know, Weatherell coming in and just booting it out of there.
Yeah.
Just great defensive effort after the fact, making sure that they don't get the garbage goal while Nick's still on his back. I mean, I know I was talking to Nick after the game. He said that save, I mean, he hurt his thumb a little bit on that save, but I mean, I'm pretty sure that he thinks it's well worth it. I know we do. I mean, that goal was a game changer because when Swat put in that first goal and cut that lead back down to 1, I'm pretty sure, you know, some of us, myself included, got a little nervous. Like, okay, well, let's quell this run. And I mean, and we did. And Nick, I mean, not just that save either. Nick having some strong play on a lot of SWAT corners, and I'm just really sure hands. I mean, the SWAT goalie's making a couple bobbles here and there on those balls, and I don't think Nick bobbled one that he didn't intend to punch out of the way. So just a fantastic game.
And not only that, but that back line of Matt Weatherall, Adam Marolo, Matt Johnson, and Jamie Reingruber, Stonewall. I mean, they had some speedy guys, SWAT did. They had some really talented players.
They did.
And they held them so well. And it really wasn't until the second half until they had any real opportunities, and they did net that 1 goal.
Yeah.
Kind of that happens all the time in soccer, where one team takes a goal and then the other team answers right back, just because you know you're running on such such an adrenaline high. But yeah, they really stonewalled the Garnet men who have a potent offense and really made sure that they weren't going on all cylinders tonight.
And I mean, let's just we have to give props where props is due. You know, SWAT's a great team, including number 10. Number 10 just kicked a beautiful field goal from 30 yards out. It was pretty upright.
I mean,
it was
beautiful. I mean,
it played for the football team.
Yeah, I mean,
they don't have.
Honestly, NFL scouts were taking notes. I saw it. You know, I don't know how Nick Folk still has a job when number 10 Fabian is just booting it straight down. You know. He would have cleared the crossbar by like 20 feet from 30 out.
Bro, I mean, if that fence was even, you know, bumped back 30 yards, I mean, that's a good 40-yard field goal that we saw that night. I mean, just fantastic. From dead center, too. Put it split it right down the middle. I mean, you usually have to go pay to see that kind of action.
Maybe the green shoes, maybe that had
might have been.
Yeah, I mean, kickers wear, you know, some black shoes. I know I see them in the NFL, but maybe green's the way to go.
Yeah, and then also number 15, Dopey Kid. Great speed, Dopey Kid. Keep it up. maybe work on the ball handling a little bit.
And just the gloves.
And be less dopey.
Might have to tape up the
dopey,
ankles with how many times you got shook. But that's okay. We know you're just a freshman, so you got a couple of years.
Right, and I mean, people who definitely contributed as well, but, maybe didn't exactly get that goal. I mean, people flying around. Nico was just cruising the entire game, playing on his head, and just, a lot of role players who made that game happen, who turned that ball away, who, came back in on D to have a huge impact. I saw Jake in there a lot. I mean, just...
Center midfield did a great job. The combination of Dan Garfield, Matt Gorski, and David Robinson really controlled the tempo of the game and really put the ball in the playmakers' hands in our half of the field and really made things happen.
It was a collective effort.
Yeah, it didn't go in, but I mean, David had a very pretty run, almost made it 3-1 later in the game off a left foot, low angle. Just a beautiful run around his defender, a little chip, very cheeky. I wanted him to go near pipe with it, but he wanted it too. So just a great run, and those threats are what made him nervous and got him shook, like Dixie's saying.
Right. It's just great job, team effort, team win.
Unbelievable.
Keep it up, guys. We'll be cheering on Wednesday.
We will.